Welcome everyone to Heart Center Connection. My name is Winnie Chan Wang. I am a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner and I love everything about soul, mind, body, wellness. Happy New Year, everybody! With my whole heart and soul, I welcome each and every one of you in person and online. Hello, hello, hello. Some of you joining on Zoom, some of you watching the recording on Facebook and YouTube. Please do say hello, turn on the camera, wave at me. Yeah, give me an emoji, maybe a word or two about how you're feeling today. So I'm gonna open with a song. And many of you know the song is called Love, Peace, Harmony. So my beloved teacher, Dr. and Master Zhigang Sha, he is trained in Western medicine, Chinese medicine, and he's a world-renowned healer. My favorite part about Master Sha is that he is a philanthropist. In fact, he wrote this song called Love, Peace, Harmony. And I remember the first time I heard this song, I was like, wow. In this one song, it can balance our nervous system. And by chanting Love, Peace, Harmony, we can manifest collectively a world with more love, peace, and harmony. Are you ready to join me? Okay, so if you know this song, please do sing it with me. And if you don't, please receive it as a blessing.
Okay.
Okay, so just close your eyes for a second and check in if there are any stress before this heart center connection started. We've got some laughter here in the room. And yeah, smiling is good. Laughter is the best medicine, you know? Let's begin. I love my heart and soul. I love all humanity. Join hearts and souls together. Love, peace, and harmony. Love, peace, and harmony. In Chinese. 我心和你，我爱传人类，万灵融合母是生，相爱平安和谐，相爱平安和谐。And now in soul language. Lula, lula, li. Lula, lula, li.
Lula, lula, li, lula.
Lula, li, lula. Lula, li, lula. And what a perfect way to introduce Jay. Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about Heart Center. Heart Center is a loving community that is dedicated to creating a safe space so that we can share all of our challenges and all of our gifts with total freedom and total authenticity.
Yeah.
And Jay, he really loves mental health. And tonight, we have the delight of a very special podcast guest who is a mental health specialist. So Jay, would you like to introduce our guest?
Sure, thank you so much. Hi everyone, I'm 𝐤𝐮𝐫𝐲. I'm a professor and expert in mental health, and we are really excited to have this first episode in this format of the Heart Center Connection. And I'm really happy to introduce you to you tonight, Allison Batty-Capps, who's a consciousness guide, a spiritual teacher, and a licensed therapist who works at the intersection of psychology, neuroscience, and spirituality. She helps people reconnect with their inner wisdom, heal past trauma, and awaken to their inherent divinity, supporting them in embodying the God consciousness that is already within. Through her books, teachings, courses, and mentorship, Allison provides tools for self-healing, spiritual growth, and embodied transformation, empowering individuals to cultivate their own awakening, sovereignty, and emotional intelligence. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Allison Batty-Capps. Welcome. Welcome to
Thank you for having me, and what a beautiful introduction and song. That was so moving.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, Winnie has one of the most moving voices I've ever heard, and it's really one of the delights that we have at Heart Center Connection. So, Allison, please, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your story and what sort of what challenge you had to come through in order to arrive at where you are today.
Yeah, in 2008, I was a professional actor living in Chicago, and I went to a psychic school because a friend told me about it, and I had this experience where I was meditating and just felt filled with an immense amount of love and peace. And I had this experience where I felt I was everything and nothing all at once. And after that experience, childhood trauma that I didn't know that I had experienced started bubbling to the surface in metaphors. And I actually was diagnosed with complex PTSD and schizophrenia. And my journey of healing over the last 18 years has been wanting to unpack these experiences and develop meaning out of these experiences so that I could not be overwhelmed by them, but instead use them for wisdom. And so I've studied psychology, neuroscience, and various spiritual traditions, and have actually come into a personal relationship with my parts where those experiences no longer disorient me and no longer take over. And now I can have insight in the present moment when I'm triggered and know what's going on and relate it to the core wounds and have more agency to engage. And the main tool that I use is mindfulness for that.
That's amazing. And I think our viewers would really love to hear a little more about your technique and how you use. It sounds like you had a really radical transformation, but I'm wondering if how you've distilled this knowledge for everyone.
Yeah. So curiosity and embodiment is the way I would describe it. Is I'm very aware of what's happening internally as I'm navigating my outer experience in the world. So I'm constantly noticing body sensations or thoughts that arise or emotions that arise. And the first thing I do is I get curious and I try to understand what it's experiencing, or what the experience rather is trying to communicate. So what is the underlying need? What is the underlying boundary? What is the metaphor that's presenting itself? And how does it relate to my past? And how does it relate to the present moment? So I use internal family systems theory to get to know the parts of myself that are communicating through thoughts or body sensations or emotions. And then I have clarity of what it's related to. And then I'm able to engage in the world with an understanding of that and say, I noticed that when X, Y, and Z happened, this is the response that I had in my body. I'm wondering if we could approach it this way or something like that. So mindfulness is really the main tool that I use, and then internal family systems helps me unpack by asking questions of what I'm experiencing internally as well as like active imagination from depth psychology and my understanding of journeying and energy work related to Reiki and spiritual healing. So I kind of integrate all of those techniques to help clear what needs to be cleared, to help heal what needs to be healed, and then also to communicate clearly what's happening internally so that I don't react from what's happening, but actually slow down, pause, listen, and then respond.
Yeah, that not acting from reactivity is the,
Yeah.
you know, of course, every skill is essential, but this skill is essential to develop early on in order to be able to control ourselves. So thank you so much for sharing that.
And nervous system, right? I mean, I think
Yeah,
our
of
nervous
course.
system is the key, and understanding that when something happens, it's because our nervous system, we don't feel safe.
Yeah, yeah. I think an essential part of this process is when people come to us, their heart's not necessarily open. So I wonder if you have a technique that you use to help people open their hearts to receive coaching, to sharing the message, and to receive healing.
Yeah, I think that is good. We have protective parts of ourselves that sometimes are afraid of healing or they don't feel worthy of healing, and so they can kind of interrupt. I call these roadblocks in my book. And so one of the things that I help cultivate is the ability to be curious. So when I'm working with a client, I give them experiential experiences to help them connect with their heart rather than telling them what to experience. So I use guided meditation or loving kindness practices or active imagination to help them learn to listen to what's happening internally and to connect in with their own heart, and then holding that presence that is grounded and stable so that they can feel that resonation and that cohesion from my own nervous system. I find that my clients are able to connect in with their own regulated nervous system and their own heart because I'm holding that space for them and modeling it, which helps them connect to it through the exercises that I'm employing, if that makes sense.
It does. It sounds like we're in the same business, basically. And I'm really happy to hear, how deeply you integrate the nervous system, because, a lot of programs, a lot of people address the mind, but it's really, what I found in my own journey is that I figured everything out, and I was still getting triggered.
That's right.
So I really appreciate your approach. I'm wondering, how can we benefit from the hard work of our ancestors and teachers and confidently bring forward the next evolution?
I think this is such a wise question because there is so much wisdom in our ancestors' lineage. And I think some of those teachings from our ancestors that we see in practices such as yoga or pranayama practices or even spiritual traditions, there's so much wisdom in those teachings, and now the neuroscience research is beginning to back them up. And I think the piece that has been missing is the trauma-informed perspective, that some of the teachings, the way that they've been taught, are top-down, and it really has to happen both top-down and bottom-up, that healing and integration cannot happen without nervous system safety. And these teachings that our ancestors have left for us are foundational to that. And we have to learn how to integrate that with the trauma-informed perspective that is just beginning to come online. And I think as a society, we've been resistant to accept that trauma is so diverse and epidemic. But I think we see it even in our systems that, a lot of teachings are like, just push through, willpower. And I think true healing happens when we understand that our body has messages that are profound and we can listen to those. And then from a spiritual perspective, we can have a relationship with our ancestors through practices such as Reiki or shamanic journeying or active imagination. So we can actually have communication with our ancestors in meditation that can help strengthen our own healing. If you're open to that perspective.
Right. So I mean, and I love this perspective because this is also what we do here at the Heart Center, right? We use whatever tools are available to us. So, you know, I practice shamanism, and we practice with 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐭 calligraphy, and Winnie is an acupuncturist. We each bring different skills to the table. I'm wondering though, for those people who are out there and they're a little leery about spirituality, or a particular kind, or have a preference for a particular kind of spirituality, how you address these people's concerns. I don't know if you have clients who come to you like this.
I do. I work with a lot of atheists and agnostics, and one of the things when I was writing my book was to approach this in a way that is not dogmatic, but instead open to all perspectives, and that science and quantum physics has a way of explaining spiritual experiences that some people feel are real, but science says, well, we can't prove it's real. And so what I like to tell my clients is it doesn't matter whether or not you believe something is literally real. What I think matters is if you experiment with different practices and you notice that something is happening inside your nervous system that leads to an openness, an expansion, a sense of calm, a sense of connection, a sense of feeling loved, then that's an indication that something that you've tapped into is supportive to your experience as a human being. Whether you call that spiritual in nature or whether you find it helpful through spiritual practices doesn't really matter to me. What matters is that you find a path to experiencing that sense of body. So when I'm working with clients, I don't tell them they have to try something. I say, are you open to an experiment, and would you be willing to try and see what happens if you experiment with this practice? And in my book, The Divine Within, Healing Ourselves to Heal the World, I actually tell people, you have to develop your own spiritual practice and your own spiritual language. And I actually frame spirituality as just the ability to be with your inner state, right? It's the ability to sit with yourself with curiosity. And that's what I define as a spiritual practice, is the ability to slow down and listen and get curious.
Wow, that's a really fascinating perspective. So in other words, for you, spirituality is self-presence.
Yeah.
So it sounds like listening to yourself is critical in your system, and a lot of us have people outside us telling us, you know, you should do things this way, you shouldn't do things that way. You know, we have all these societal influences. So how do you advise people to better listen to themselves versus others?
Well, I think it's important to listen in general, to listen to other people's perspectives and understand what they find helpful. But ultimately, we are sovereign beings. We have autonomy. We know what feels good in our system based on how our body responds. So I invite my clients to learn to listen to what a yes feels like in their body and what a no feels like in their body. And if you're feeling any contraction, any sense of disharmony, that's an indication of some sort of a no. It's an indication that either something within you needs help healing and integrating, or something in the way the other person is presenting something doesn't sit and resonate with you. Versus if a teaching or an option creates a sense of openness, it's a sense that, yes, this is a yes for me. Now, when you're working with clients, sometimes a client might try a practice and get a constriction, and that isn't necessarily that the teaching is a no. It might be that the teaching is bringing up something in their unconscious that really needs to be looked at. And we've got to find a way to approach that in a way that helps them understand it. And so it's learning to listen to the body's cues of what a yes is and what a no is, and then to use discernment. Is this going to help me? Is this going to help me show up in a more compassionate way? Is this going to cause harm to myself or others? And so I think when we're learning to interact with other people, it's a way of approaching it so that we're being open to each other's perspectives, but trusting that we each have our own path.
Okay, I love what Allison says so much, and that's why I have to come in. You know, something that you said that really resonated and it really was maybe the biggest aha and breakthrough for me is when you said, if something makes your body tighten, it doesn't necessarily invalidate the teaching. It just might be that something is coming up to be released.
Yeah.
So do you have like something you tell your clients that can help them open their heart to receive the guidance of others, and also open the heart to actually spreading their own soul message?
Yeah, this is such a deep, important question. Trying to listen to how my tea wants me to respond to this. Well, I teach clients to get curious, to ask questions. So when they're having a constriction, we approach it as if it is a person that is communicating. So I might say, what are you noticing in your body? And they might say, well, I'm noticing that there's a tightening in my chest. There is a darkness there. And I'll ask them to focus on it and then ask it to step forward in front of them so that they can better get to know it. And if the energy won't step forward, I sometimes use Reiki to help pull the energy out so that they can clearly see it. And then we get to know it. We might ask it, well, where did it come from? When did you first notice it? And we just get to know it like it's a person. And eventually the clarity comes as to why that is there. And that in and of itself helps them open to the teaching. Or it helps them find what's true for themselves from the teaching. My perspective is that a teaching that is right for me might not be a teaching that is right for somebody else. Or it might be that they are understanding it in a different way. One of the things that I talk about in my book is that mystical experiences or spiritual experiences are deeply personal, and spiritual traditions and world religions become spiritual traditions and world religions because one person has a profound mystical experience and then they try to teach other people what they discovered. And I believe that we are all capable of having those mystical experiences. So in my work, rather than tell people what the teachings are, I help them have mystical experiences for themselves so that they can determine for themselves what is true, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. Thank you so much, Allison. And with that note, I am suddenly inspired to lead a little body movement, because it's good to, bring all this wisdom into the body. And specifically, I feel that the more relaxed we are, the more we're connected to our feet, the more we're grounded to Mother Earth, the more we're able to feel a sense of safety.
Mm-hmm.
So my invitation is for everybody to stand up, and we're going to explore what safety means, what belonging means in the body. So feel free to close your eyes. You don't have to look at me, just look inside your body. But if you want to look at me, that's also okay. And I'm going to ask the camera team to please move the camera to the lower half of my body. So you only need to see my belly and down. Maybe the feet and the ankle. You might need to pull the camera. Maybe I'll take a step back a little bit. Okay, so we're going to put our hands on our hips and just close our eyes. As Allison said, we're going to bring some curiosity into this body. So you don't have to look at me or follow me, but just maybe begin to sway left and right, lifting one knee after another, and lifting the heel off the bottom, and I want you you to imagine that you're gonna stabilize your hips, so no cheating. What does it mean when you stabilize your hips? Is when you stabilize your hips, when you lift your heel and stand on your toes, what we're actually doing is giving ourselves a reflexology massage. So in the feet, there are 6 foot meridians. On the medial aspect of our leg, there is the liver, which is impacted when there's anger. Kidney, which is impacted when there's fear. And spleen, which is impacted when there's worry. Then on the outer leg, we have the stomach channel, which is really good for helping us gain acceptance. Listening is a game of acceptance, isn't it? I accept you and I accept myself. Yeah. So I invite you to stroke your leg like you're soothing your baby, okay? Aww, yeah. Let's just kind of stroke our baby here. So the direction of the stomach channel is it goes top to bottom. And it runs on the lateral side of the leg. Yeah. And then we have the side body, which is the gallbladder meridian. The gallbladder meridian, when it's healthy, is courage. So one of my favorite exercises is sliding the hand down one leg on the gallbladder. We call that also IT band in Western anatomy. And we slide it on the other side of the IT band. Hopefully my necklaces are not making too much noise. I do apologize if that's the case. And you just silently vibrate. I have the courage to be me. I have the courage to be me. And the last meridian that we haven't talked about in the leg is the urinary bladder channel. Now the urinary bladder channel, it runs down the back, and then there's actually a 1.5 line, there's a 3.0 line from the midline, and it goes down, and you can think of it like it goes down the hamstring.
Yes.
And
the calf.
and also the calf. So the urinary bladder channel is really the muscles and the pathway that helps us stand tall and proud in who we are, right? So just take a moment. Now that we did a little exercise, let's take a moment and connect. Do we feel safe in the body? What blockage are we ready to release at this time? And gently open your eyes. And so now I'm going to invite the community, maybe if someone wants to unmute, if they want to share their experience, if there's something that Allison said or something from the exercise, or if they want to ask a question, because now we have the opportunity to ask Allison any question you want.
Is there anyone on Zoom who wants to ask a question? No one's asking.
Okay, can you check on Facebook to see sometimes they might have questions?
I know. It's good in this case.
I'll say something.
Okay. Malia?
Yeah. I just, it was so relatable, and I really thank Allison for sharing from her heart. Everything was just so powerfully connected with what I've learned and grown to be curious about with Winnie and Jay. It was really profoundly, um, uh, I don't want to use the word energizing, but it was invigorating and also confirming what we've been doing and how I have felt my healing progress continue. And thank you for bringing up trauma-informed care and everything about um, that side of research. It just, we've all been there, and it's something where, yes, opening our hearts and how do we find that pathway. I just want to thank Allison. It's just a great connection here, and thank you, Heart Center, for sure. Thank you so much.
You want to transition to Allison?
Okay, so uh, at this time of the evening, I would like to talk a little bit more about the law of 𝐭𝐫𝐮 and also the soul, mind, body access. So everyone and everything has a soul. So my heart has a soul, my kidney has a soul, my liver has a soul, my little toesies have a soul. Remember that moment when Allison said that she had this experience where she's everything and also nothing at the same time? So that is a sign that we are connected at the soul level, right? So we can't see it, we can't touch it. So how is it that we can connect in the soul world? So my teacher, he co-wrote a book called 𝐲𝐨 with Dr. 𝐤𝐮𝐬𝐭, and who is a quantum physics PhD from UC Berkeley. And I just absolutely love the way they simplified spirituality. Because I have a computer science degree from MIT, and I like to live in ones and zeros. And the way they explain it is when a person is spiritual, it doesn't matter if you're Christian or Tao or yogi or you don't believe anything at all. A one is when you feel connected to the sun and the moon and the stars and planets and galaxies and universes. Right? So if your heart says, I want to serve all humanity, then actually, whether you believe in God or not, you're very spiritual. Where zero is when you think about me, me, me. So zero is where you think about, what do I want to eat right now? How do I make more money? Of course, these things are important. I love eating and I love money and I love sleep. Okay, don't get me wrong. But it's basically when I wake up in the morning every day, are the majority of my thoughts filled with service of others? Or the majority of my thoughts are what we call the me, me, me thoughts? So there are a lot of generous and kind people in this world. And by connecting to the oneness field, asking the universe, what is the love, the service that wants to come through this channel? And I believe Allison has a book called Divine Within. Maybe we can invite her to show us the cover of the book and tell us a little bit more about the book. But let me finish with the law of 𝐭𝐫𝐮𝐬𝐭 and this connection with her book. So in the integrative wellness medicine model, the soul is the boss, right? So some people, they're like, oh my God, I have anxiety. I need to hit the gym, right? So there are a lot of people who hit the gym every day, and of course we love the gym every day. But then they only know the physical movement of energy and body as a way to release the blockages. Now this is why I love having Allison on, because when we have talk therapy, we begin to explore the negative patterns or the negative information that is at the mind level. But then there's also blockages in the heart and blockages in the soul. So what Master Sha teach is that the soul is a boss, and it doesn't matter if we're healing an acute or chronic condition. We heal the soul first, and then the soul leads the heart. The heart leads the mind leads the energy, and the energy leads the body. And so now I'd like to ask Allison if she can just share a little bit about the book. And yes.
Thank you for that explanation. I always love hearing different people's perspective on this concept. So I don't know if Zoom is, I don't know how to get Zoom to take off the blur. So my book, The Divine Within, Healing Ourselves to Heal the World, came to me in a mystical experience. It came to me in a dream, and around the same time that I had that mystical experience and my trauma surfaced. And so the wisdom in the book is based on 18 years of studying of spirituality, the bridging of spirituality, psychology, and neuroscience. And so it explores these concepts that you were just talking about the soul and how to embody the soul so that we can live from our inner divinity with the wisdom of our humanity. So how do we bridge the needs that the body and the human experience have with the wisdom and the clarity and the service that the soul feels intuitively? And so the book is a guide of how to do that, of how to connect so strongly with your soul's essence and your direct connection to source, which many people experience it and name it differently. And so I respect everyone's perspective on this. But we know that we're deeply embodied in that connection when our body feels open, when it feels expansive, when we feel grounded, when we feel centered, when we have clarity about what our inner experience is communicating, and we're able to say, how can I go about getting my needs met in a way that doesn't cause harm to myself or others? And so it's how do we be in service not only to others, but to ourselves from a soul level? So how do we approach these needs not from the wound of the trauma, which is the fear, the unconscious belief systems of I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I'm not part of the whole? And how do we approach it instead from the healed state of I am deeply connected, I am a part of this collective, and I have something to contribute to the whole? And so my book is sort of a step-by-step guide using mindfulness and somatic practices and journaling prompts and loving kindness practices to help you reconnect with your direct connection to what Heart Center seems to be teaching you how to do.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing the book with me. And if you can type the title of the book and maybe drop a link to Amazon or whatever distribution channel, and maybe the team can copy and paste the link of the book and also drop it on Facebook and other platforms that we'll be using. So this next part, I would love to share with you, Allison, the Tao calligraphy light wall and give you an experience. So the Tao is the ultimate source and creator. And normally we cannot access it. My teacher, when he writes the calligraphy, he connects to the source most positive vibration of these 10 qualities. And they are: the greatest love melts all blockages, the greatest forgiveness brings inner joy and inner peace, the greatest compassion boosts energy, stamina, vitality, and immunity. I'm reading you the menu so you can tell me what you want. Okay. The greatest light transforms all life and helps you gain clarity. It's like a GPS. The greatest humility can heal and prevent the ego from blocking us. And number 6 is the greatest harmony, which is the key for success. At number 7, we have the greatest flourishing, which gives us the resources to serve more people. And then number 8, we have the greatest gratitude, which is the key for progress. Number 9, we have the greatest service, which is the purpose of life. And number 10, we have the greatest enlightenment, which is the ultimate achievement of all life. So actually, these 10 calligraphies, they work together, and we're going to do this breath work. It's called 𝐭𝐫𝐮𝐬𝐭. 𝐭 means to inhale the most positive information from the source. Basically, it's the source light field. And then 𝐤𝐽 means to release any heaviness that no longer serve us. Maybe it's some of the trauma that we carried from, this lifetime, or if you believe in past life, could be from other lifetimes also. So Allison, do you have something that you want to release at this time? It could be, lower back pain, hip pain, knee pain, ankle pain. If you have some pain in the body, that's probably the best to choose.
I would say I'm beginning to step into a role of wanting to be in service to a larger community instead of my small community, and I have some blockages around stepping into that role of being in service to a greater populace. So I'm open to releasing those blockages that I have related to being of service to more people.
Okay. So, since you are a mental health professional and you're a pro at this already, what would you say is the conversation that you might be holding on to?
Yeah, it's a nervous system safety. And so being visible had been dangerous in childhood. And so for me, being visible to more people, there's a sense of like, is that going to be safe, right? Will I be safe if I put myself out there? Okay. And so for me, it's nervous system, like the ability for my nervous system to feel grounded.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to do this breath work. So Allison, I invite you to close your eyes and put one hand over the heart and one hand over the lower abdomen. We're going to begin with just chanting Ah, and everybody in person and online, I invite you to also chant Ah, and we're all going to direct it to Allison's heart. So everyone, and also Allison, visualize golden light coming from all 10 calligraphies into your heart when you inhale. And when you exhale, you're going to visualize dark gray smoke leaving your heart. So let me make a connection to the 10 Tao wall, the Tao calligraphy light field. Okay, the light wall is now open, so the portal is ready to support our session. So I'm gonna cue you, inhale 5 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, we're gonna chant Ah. Okay, so inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, chant Ah. Ah. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. And a moment of silence to integrate all this beautiful space we created in the heart. Okay. Next, we're going to do a little bit of physical exercise. So if you're ready, please stand up, and if you cannot, please stay seated. So what we're going to do is we're going to stomp the left foot, okay? So we're going to chant, I am the light. So it's almost like we're sending a message into Mother Earth, and then imagine it's going to ripple, right? So the trees talk to the trees, the trees talk to the trees. So each time we stomp, we're actually going to announce, I am the light, into the whole world. Okay, so what we're going to do is inhale 5 counts, and you're going to hear me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I say exhale, we're going to chant, and we're going to do this movement with the arm. I am the light. And if you can, keep your spine straight and tall, like a pillar of light has turned on Mother Earth. Okay, and if for some reason you cannot stand, just visualize, close your eyes, and use creative imagination that you can stand at this time. Okay, you guys ready? Let's do it. Okay, so everybody, let's do it. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. I am the light. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. I am the light. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. I am the light. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. I am the light. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. I am the light. And a moment of silence. Put a hand over your heart and your lower abdomen. Okay, apparently the right foot also wants to stop. So now we're gonna stop the right foot. I'm gonna take some suggestion. What should we chant this time, Jay, or community? Anybody want to say something we should chant?
I am divine.
I am divine. Oh yes, thank you, Jay. That is a wonderful suggestion. Okay, so it's gonna look like this. This time we're gonna stop the right leg. I'm gonna take the things out of my pockets. And so we're gonna inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this time stomp the right leg.
I am divine.
Okay, so everybody got that? All right, you guys ready? Okay, let's do it. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. I am divine. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. I am divine. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. I am divine. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, chant. I am divine. Okay, let's take a moment to integrate. Feeling very, very divine. That sweetness. Oh, yes. Can you feel that sweetness? Wow. Can you feel that sweet nectar in your heart? Nourishing. What was perfect and whole this whole time? how are we doing on time? Can we do one more?
Yes, we can.
Okay, let's do. Okay, this time we're just gonna chant the syllable Dao, 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 Dao. Okay, so I'm gonna do gentle tapping in the liver and the spleen. So liver is on the right side and spleen is on the left side. So liver stores anger and the spleen stores worry, and usually when we have the wounded child and you feel fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or this nervous system, it comes from the worry. So many of my clients, they have blockage in the spleen. So anyways, we're just gonna tap symmetrically and the liver on the spleen. And we're gonna chant Dao. So Dao includes everything. Dao includes the wounded child, and Dao includes the trauma, and Dao includes the source, the sun, the moon, Mother Earth, countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. Dao is in everyone and everything. So Dao is like the highest blessing. You ready? Dao, 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 Dao. Okay, so actually what we're gonna do is tap in the heart and the spleen. So I want you to imagine the heart is your higher self, and then the spleen is your wounded child. And what we really want is for them to find each other, right? So, dear my wounded child, say that.
Dear my wounded child.
Please run into the loving embrace of the heart,
Please run into the loving embrace of the heart,
which is infinitely spacious.
which is infinitely spacious.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Do a good job.
Do a great job.
Okay, let's do it. Dao, 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 Dao. Dao, 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 dao. Okay, now go back to the liver, okay? Because we want to receive the forgiveness, okay? So some of us, the reason we hold on is because we think that, you know, the liver is the organ of the judge. So we think that the world is a dangerous place, so I must hold on to all these judgments in order to protect myself, right? So that's why the nervous system gets fired up. But let's really bring the harmony into the liver and spleen. Dao, 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 dao. And now can we add one more? Or can we like dao, dao, dao and chant and march in place too? I think we can do it. Dao, 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 dao. And now, I don't know if people can still do this, but let's like raise our arms above our head like we're already celebrating the victory, right? If you have had a life of one-to-one coaching as a, you know, as a talk therapist or an acupuncturist, and now you're ready to do the 1 to million, okay, we're gonna celebrate that our message is reaching the millions. Okay, you ready? Dao, 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 dao. Okay. All right, so everyone, especially Allison, feel free to unmute. Tell me how the experience is so that I can serve you even better.
Thank you so much. It's so lovely to have such embodied practices that are, I can see the integration with some of the traditions, and it's just lovely. So thank you.
Does anyone else want to comment?
Anybody else want to comment? Jay, did you want to share something that you saw?
I would like to do a Tao song with you if you would like.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
That's what I'm getting.
Okay.
I'm gonna come around. I'll be right there. You van.
Okay. So, if you really like that experience, that was called Tao Calligraphy Light While Breathing. And Jay and I lead this practice at 7 a.m. Pacific time, which is in California, 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so that we can really be in the field and clear any blockages and manifest the life that we want. And Jay had a suggestion.
I would like to sing a song with you. Would you like to sing a song?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So this is what we call Tao song, everyone. So Winnie and I are just gonna tune in, and then I'll start, and Winnie will build on what I sing. All of you should feel free to add your piece on top of what we sing. Yeah. So here we go. Ah, ho, ah, ho, ah, ho, ah, ho, ah, ho, ah, ho, ah, Thank you. Love you, love you, love you.
No, I think the cameraman should come in for a while because
All right, come on,
he
in, Raj.
contributed. You should bring a musical instrument.
Come on in.
So here, everybody, Raj, you want to tell everybody like a little bit about you, because like you are a spiritual person and you also brought in your music with us.
Yeah, so hello everyone, my name is Raj and I'm helping this both like gentlemen here, and I'm enjoying it. Yes, thank you so much for the introduction.
Okay, thank you. Yes, yes.
Thank you, Raj.
So, as I said before, Heart Center is a loving community that absolutely cherish every single soul on this earth. We solely believe that by sharing our challenges and our gifts with total freedom and total authenticity is how we can make ourselves and the world better. Would you say so?
I think I find it that way.
Okay, so if you had lots and lots of fun, which I hope you did, please Come back every Wednesday.
So every Wednesday, you can join us here at 7 p.m. on Heart Center Connection. That's heartcenter.la/connection. That's the URL to join us here. Also, every weekday morning at 7 a.m., we do this powerful practice. Often involves movement, and it really helps us reset our day. So if you wake up with that negativity in your mind, 7 a.m., we hit the floor, we clear it out, and it's a beautiful way to start your day. Highly recommended. That is breathing.heartcenter.la. And is there anything else you'd like to announce, Winnie?
Practice keeps us grounded and steady. It is the consistency and the gratitude that I have to Dr. and Master Zhi-Gang Sha, who created the Tao calligraphy, light wall breathing, and also my traditional Chinese medicine lineage and my Kundalini yoga lineage. And I also have many other lineages where I combine different transformation schools into this one space. So if you know someone who is as cool as Allison that you would like to feature on this podcast, especially if they are a mental health worker, please, please, please let me know so that we can make beautiful music and weave our fabric together. Anybody else wants to share in the community?
We really love everything that everyone shares, and we really want this to be about you, our viewers. So if you can, please come on and share with us. And if you can't tonight, please contact us. You can always email us, heartcenterla1@gmail.com, and send your questions, your comments, or something that's coming up in your life that you'd like to see us cover, or you can also suggest a future podcast guest. So again, that email address is heartcenterla1@gmail.com.
And now I also like to invite Allison to turn on the camera and tell us her website and her social media, and if she has any free gift or special offer that our viewers will also like to know.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today. I have a YouTube channel, Blossoming Heart Wellness, where I share teachings that are spiritual, a combination of spirituality and trauma-informed, psychologically grounded neuroscience. So if you're interested in learning more, that's a good place. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok as Allison Batty-Capps. And my website, blossomingheartwellness.com, has information about how to work with me or my online courses. And I'd be deeply honored if you were interested in following or reading my book, The Divine Within, Healing Ourselves to Heal the World. Like Heart Center, I'm wanting to build community and a place where we can come together to support one another in being authentic and being in our sovereignty and being in our healed state. So sending you all deep love.
Wonderful, and we're gonna generate some sound bites. Another email will go out with the recording and all of her links. So thank you so much, Allison.
Thank you.
We love you, and we love everybody who watched. Thank you so much.